Okay, let's start by, let me just tell you what's on tomorrow's test. I wrote it on the board last week, didn't I?
Kind of.
Let's do it again. Good. For the sake of the video. Okay, so you're gonna have to construct a slope field. That's the easiest 4 points on the test right there. You're just gonna have to draw 4 slopes at the indicated points. Child's play. Okay, then you gotta solve differential equations by separating the variables. Separate variables, remember that?
Yes.
And then you mush the 2 C's together, remember that? Mush.
Oh, it's on the homework.
Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna get to it on homework. And then you gotta do integration by parts. This is the meat of the test. Integration by parts. Some of them you can do tabular. So you better pounce on those, because those are the easy ones, right? Okay, and then you better know this. dy dt is equal to ky. This is the one differential equation you need to have memorized on the AP exam. So, yes, if you want to, you can separate the variables and solve it, but then we don't want to reinvent the wheel. What is the solution to this?
Y equals y e to the kt.
There you go. That's the test right there. So this one get 1 problem, this one get 2 or 3, this one get like 5 or 6, and this one get 1.
That's the decay. What's like
Hmm? Say that again?
That's decay, right? Like when stuff is decaying.
Yeah, if k is negative, then decay. K positive,
It's the same equation. Oh.
yeah, it's the same equation.
Oh.
It just depends what the value of k is. Okay, here we go. And it, now remember, tomorrow you're handing in all the homework, right? So 7.1. Now you already handed in 7.2, but if you want to put it in the packet, you can. 7.3, 7.4, and then the U substitution worksheet, A through Z, remember that?
Yes. Oh yeah.
And it had some slope, on the bottom, had some slope fields and solving differential equations on there, right? And then there were 2 worksheets on integration by parts, and we're only doing the first one. Yeah? Okay, let's begin. 1, no! Ho, 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 ho. That hoits! Didn't we just do sine inverse x last week? Just sine inverse x. So I put 2x there, all hell breaks loose. Tomorrow, what if I put 3x?
Even where?
It's the same thing! Okay, now tomorrow's integrals. Now, I'm testing you on integration by parts now. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself tomorrow, can I do tabular? No. So then you just got to do regular integration by parts. So u du dv v. Okay, obviously the sine inverse got to go here and the dx goes there, so that's x, right? Okay, now a lot of you made this mistake on the quiz. The derivative of sine inverse 2x is 1 over root 1 minus box squared, which is 4x squared, times the derivative of box. No, it wasn't on the quiz, it was on the U substitution test. That's what it is. You gotta times it, that 2 is gonna be 2 points, unless I get mad and make it 3. No, but that, you don't know how important that 2 is. So, this integral b, I'm just gonna do it up here, is equal to uv minus the integral of v times du. So I'm going to throw the 2 on the outside like an unwanted cat. And then you got this.
Yeah, I got that.
So in order to do this integral, you got to do this integral. So here, I'm going to box it. How do I do that integral? U substitution. And since we are on video, I'll do it. U equals 1 minus 4x squared. Because come on, by now we should be U substitution like experts. du equal negative 8x dx. So this integral becomes root u on the bottom, and x dx is equal to du over negative 8.
Hey, I got that.
That's, so you got negative 1/8, and the antiderivative of that is u to the 1/2 times 2, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's put everything together. So we got x sine inverse 2x minus 2 times this. See this negative 2? Gotta be multiplied times this. So what's negative here? You know, let's write it already. What's negative 2 times that?
1 4.
Positive
Wait,
1 4
wait, times 2.
square root of u, but what is u equal to? 1 minus 4x squared. And then do I put plus
So
c?
isn't it 1/2? Because then you must have it 2.
Oh yeah, it's 1/2, fool!
I was gonna say.
And then do I put the plus c? No, well you can, but the plus c's are gonna cancel out because this is a definite integral. And then you gotta go from 0 to 1/2. And can I assume we can plug in 1/2 at 0?
Wait.
No.
I'm sorry, that's as far as I'm taking you.
It's on video.
Is this?
No, it's not on video.
Yeah, I didn't have
If I stop now, it's not on the video.
it. Wait.
Anyway, come on, if you cannot plug in 1/2 and then plug in 0 and subtract, just go home already. Can I erase this?
No.
It's on video.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have to write it only this side of the board only for video. Okay, next, C.
Wait, what's the answer?
Wait, let me look at the bottom.
Uh,
You guys are killing me! I just think you guys can ask all the questions you want. It's been working so far, Mr. Park. Can I do tabular?
I don't know. No.
No, so you just gotta do regular integration by parts.
Is there going to be definite and indefinite?
Yes, in fact, I would say the majority is definite integral. Because I want to see you plug in numbers into trig functions, that's why. Okay, so this one, obviously you have to put the secant inverse there, and you gotta put the x dx there, right?
Yep.
Because you can't put the secant inverse here, you don't know the antiderivative. So this is 1/2 x squared. Okay, now do we even know the derivative of secant inverse? We better. Wait, let me call on somebody. Wong! Redeem yourself after the debacle last week. Read it off your paper. That's easier. What?
1 over.
Your voice sounds like a girl.
X.
Absolute value of x.
Square root x squared minus 1.
That's a different voice.
Yes, it is.
What happened with your absolute value?
Times dx.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now what happened to the absolute value? Well, look at your limits of integration. If you're between 1 and 2, x is positive, so you don't need absolute value.
Can you still put it down?
No, you don't want to put it because then when you multiply v du, then how you gonna cancel? You cannot cancel an x with an absolute value of x. Watch me, Mr. Park. No, you guys kids, when you have absolute value, you are trained, it's a piecewise function. That's why, by giving these limits, I'm making it easier for you.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. So the original integral is equal to uv minus the integral of v times du. See, if you had absolute value of x there, you're in trouble. I'm going to throw the 1/2 on the outside. And what happens is when the x squared and the x cancels, you get x dx all over root x squared minus 1, correct? So in order to do the original integral, you have to be able to do this integral. And how do I do that? It rhymes with multiplication. I'm just going to do it because we're on video. U equals x squared minus 1, du equals 2x dx. So this integral becomes the integral of radical u on the bottom, and x dx is equal to du over 2. And come on, that's child's play. That's equal to 1/2 times u to the half with the 2 plus c. And the 2's cancel out. So let's put it all together. We have 1/2 x squared secant inverse x minus 1/2 times that. So minus half times root u, but u is equal to x squared minus 1, and then we have limits from 1 to 2. And that's as far as I'm going to take you. I'm going to assume you can plug in 2 and 1,
Wait, but I got that far and then I got the wrong answer.
because you can't plug in. Okay, I'll go one more step. Since we're on video. Oh, but now my back is starting to get sore.
Where's your break?
I don't know, I should have worn it for period 1. No, this cycle is bad because I gotta teach 5 classes in a row.
It's okay, I have 6 classes in a row.
No, but you can sit down. You can sit down and veg out. I can't do either. Okay, so if I plug in, you get 2 times pi over 3 minus 1/2 root 3. And then if I plug in 1, you get 0 minus 0. Glad I had to bend over for that one. Okay, did you get
Wait, secant inverse of 2 is what?
pi over 3?
Oh, not really ugly numbers.
Yeah, I did.
Secant of what angle is 2? That's the same thing as saying cosine of what angle is 1/2.
Oh, what?
That's pi over 3.
Gotcha. Okay,
So the
next.
problem is, again, trigonometry and algebra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did D?
And then what secant inverse 1 is 0? Is that what you guys are thinking?
No? Why would it be 0? Wait,
Oh,
oh yeah.
it is 0, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So how do you get 0? That's because secant of what angle is 1. That's the same thing as saying cosine of what angle is 1.
Okay.
0. Inverse trig functions are
Oh
angles.
yeah, there's a
Bro, I
difference.
think I pretended it was fine.
Sine thing was 2.
No, let's just not talk about it.
Okay, D, I don't see D, E, and F up there, but here.
I put.
There it is.
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay, D, can you do tabular on D?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so that you pounce on that, like, right?
We've been putting in the,
Okay, let's do D, even though it's not written there. D. You gotta recognize when you can use tabular. Can you do tabular on here?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because 1 can be 0 and 1 can be
Okay, because you can take the derivative down to 0, but do it carefully now. And the other one can be repeatedly integrated. You bet your bippy. Here, I'm just gonna fill it in. Yep. You gotta have the correct signs because each sign a mistake is 2, you know. It's not 1 point, it's 2. Toot, 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 toot. Plus, minus, plus, minus. What? Can you take it from there?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So here, so this is it. We're good, we're good. You said okay?
yeah,
Well, but then you said you got this.
no, I just,
Can't plug in the number.
Yeah.
I can't plug in the number. 1/2 x cubed sine 2x plus 3/4 x squared cosine 2x minus 3. This looks like a quiz problem. Sine 2x minus 3/8 cosine 2x, and then we gotta go from 0 to pi over 4. Okay, I'll plug in the numbers. Wait. Okay, so you got pi cubed over 128
would you give us on the test?
times
Could you background a half?
1 plus 0 minus 3/4 times pi over 4, 3 pi over 16 times 1 minus 0
Wow.
minus, and then if you plug in 0, you get 0 plus 0 minus 0 minus 3/8. Was that the problem? You
Yeah.
forgot the 3/8?
No, I did a lot wrong in the plugging in, but it makes sense.
We cannot even get sine and cosine values.
Where is your shoe?
Wait, let me say that for the video. We cannot even get sine and cosine values.
Did you drop the eraser on your shoe? Did you drop the eraser on your shoe?
Yeah, what makes you say that? Wait, we have to show the video of that? What makes you say that? What are we doing now? E!
Are you doing?
We're doing E. You know why?
He's not on the board.
Yeah, I know, but I know some people, because this came up in another class and they were dumbfounded. Can you do tabular?
Yes.
No.
Yes, see?
What?
Yes, you can do tabular. Watch.
So
Watch
X1,
and
0.
learn.
It's easier to just do it.
No, it's easier to do tabular, because look.
10.
Negative 10.
No, tan.
Negative.
Negative natural log, absolute value,
Oh, yeah, I
cosine
just-
x.
that's what I
Whoop
was
whoop,
doing.
plus minus. Dang! Tabular.
Yeah. E.
Put that, I think that was a quiz question. Yeah, but you don't have to do tabular, but look, if you can, it just makes life so easy. Okay, F is not on the board. Anyway, I decided not to give a problem like F on the test tomorrow.
Yay.
You know, this one was on the homework, remember you made me do 45 and 47 on the homework?
Yeah.
You have to do a U substitution first. And then you get an integral that you can do tabular on.
I like this question.
But I'm not gonna put it on the test, however, it might show up as a bonus, because there is a bonus tomorrow.
Yay, finally.
Did you make the test, right?
Yes,
Oh,
this is
so
a bonus.
It's a bonus.
Okay, now G, is that on the, oh
G sucks.
no! Okay, this is the kind, when you see this, what are you thinking? Besides, I wanna skip it. This is the
Integration
solving
by
for the unknown integral, the one you gotta do it twice and then you gotta bring it over, remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, there's only one of these tomorrow.
Thank you.
There's only one, because it takes a while, right?
Yes.
And it's gonna look just like this. The only difference is it might be sine, it's either gonna be sine or cosine here, and then these numbers could be changed, could be 4 and 3, 2 and 5, whatever. Okay, so here we go. So, you gotta do regular integration by parts, let's see if we can squeeze it in here. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you put the exponential or the trig, just be consistent, remember I told you? Okay, so, just make sure, you go from here to here, you're taking derivative now, so it's e to the 3x times 3. And then when you go from here to here, you're doing antiderivative, so it's negative half cosine 2x,
Is
correct?
it bad if I switch the dv and the u?
No, as long as you keep it consistent.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm gonna call our original integral oval. So oval is equal to uv minus the integral of v du. Now, when you multiply this times this, you're gonna get a negative 3/2, so it's gonna be plus 3/2 e to the 3x cosine 2x dx. So that means we gotta figure out this integral here, which we call box. Now notice that box looks vaguely similar to the, not vaguely, it looks very similar to the original one. So you just do it again. And this is where you gotta be consistent. If you let u equal to the exponential in the first one, you gotta let u equal to the exponential in the second time. Otherwise bad things happen. So 3e to the 3x dx. And I know some of you not even ready to dx's yet, you're just gonna pay for it tomorrow.
yeah.
Oh, I warned you guys, 1/2 sine 2x here. Okay, so box is equal to uv minus the integral of v times du, so I'm gonna throw the constant on the outside, e to the 3x sine 2x dx. But notice that that's just the original integral, which is oval. Okay, let's put everything together. Oval is equal to negative 1/2 e to the 3x cosine 2x plus, you see this 3/2? This 3/2 gotta be distributed over here, because a lot of you didn't do that on the quiz, I remember. So 3/4 e to the 3x sine 2x minus, and when you multiply 3/2 times this, you're gonna get 9/4 oval. So what you do is you bring all the ovals on the left. So what's 4/4 oval plus 9/4 oval? 13/4 oval is equal to, now, this is where you can save some time, but too late, we already wrote it.
Oh.
Instead of writing it all over again, you know what I'm talking about? So how do I solve for oval? Multiply both sides by? Now you want to distribute the 4/13, so just times the whole thing by 4/13. Okay, just, so 4/13, doesn't matter, whatever, I'll take either form, as long as it's good. What? Yeah, this is fine.
Alright then.
And don't forget, after doing all that work, don't forget to put the plus c at the end.
Why don't you just
Wait,
shoot
when do
the
you know when to put, oh, you only put the plus here when there's no definite.
When it's an indefinite
Yeah, okay.
integral. Question. I heard something over there.
That's like
Distribute the 4 so it comes out nicer.
Okay, then do it.
Okay.
I'm just not done. If you want to distribute the 4/13s, go right ahead. Go ahead, make my day. Yeah, it does look nicer, but you know, we're AB. I'll accept anything. You guys just better be able to pick up the answer on the AP exam. Okay, now what about H? Can you do tabular? Here, let me write it
No, I
down.
could not do it.
H. Can you do tabular?
Yeah.
The factor.
Yes, no, you do tabular.
Yeah.
What, Mr. Bot, you crazy? No, because, okay, in order to do tabular, you gotta be able to repeatedly integrate this. Yeah, because what's the only way you can integrate cosine squared? You gotta replace it with the identity.
1 plus, yeah.
That's the only way. There is no other way, people. That's how you do it. So can I like repeatedly integrate that 3 times? Yeah, you bet you can. So what is that? 1/2 x plus 1/4 sine 2x. Next one. Miyashiro. Good.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1/4 x squared plus. Oh, minus.
Am I going to be there tomorrow going?
1/8 cosine 2x.
And then who's got the next one? Aquarius.
1 over 8x. 1 over 12 x cubed minus 1 over 16 sin.
Okay. And then you just go roop, 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 plus minus plus. And then just be careful now. You know when you go this times positive 1, it's the whole thing, you know. You have quantities here now. So you gotta watch your signs and stuff. Can't do it. That's not hard, is it?
Yep.
It's not hard. Go.
Number 2 is hard.
No! You guys did harder ones in the book. Okay, the rate at which a radioactive substance decays is proportional to the amount present. As soon as I read that phrase or that sentence, what do I automatically write down? Skip to the next problem. Y equal y naught e to the kt. That's the solution to this differential equation. You got to know that now. Look, the rate at which a population decays is proportional to the amount present. Remember, that's the one you got to memorize. Okay, if the half-life is 7 days, now what do I do with the information? It takes 7 days for the original population to decay to half of its original amount. What's the original amount? What's half of that?
1/2
One. Where do I plug in 1/2 y now?
For y.
For y, just like on the homework. And how long does it take for this to happen? I forget already. It takes 7 days, so you plug in 7 for t. The y naughts cancel out. Can you figure out what k is?
Yep.
You natural log both sides, so
Ellen.
natural log half is equal to, the natural log of e to the gorilla is just gorilla. So k equals natural log 1/2 over 7.
Yeah.
Now that we know what k is, now we can answer the question. So your equation is now y equal y naught e to the natural log 1/2 over 7t. So let's answer the question. It
Alright, all we
says,
need to help simplifying. Not that part.
how many days will it take 90% of a given amount to decay? So if you start with y naught and 90% of it decays, how much is left? 10%, which is 1/10 y naught, right? Where do I plug that in? For y. I know some of you tomorrow are going to put 9/10 y naught, yeah?
Yes.
But don't worry, that's only a 2-point error.
Okay.
98 is a darn good score. Right?
Yep.
Okay, the y naughts cancel out. Mr. Parker cancels out every time. Duh. If you did your homework, you would know that. And how do I solve for the variable and exponent? You natural log both sides. Natural log of e to the armadillo is armadillo. So therefore, solving for t, you just use algebra 1, multiply by 7, and then divide by natural log half. Now, tomorrow, no calculator. You write that down tomorrow, I'll give you full credit.
Okay, good, because I had trouble.
That's where I'm gonna get past.
However, when you take the AP exam, I will guarantee you right now, that's not one of the choices.
What?
That is not gonna be one of the choices. It's gonna be this, 7 natural log 10 over natural log 2.
Yeah.
How do you go from here to here?
Oh, that's
Okay,
probably because of natural log of y.
Isn't this the same thing as 10 to the negative 1? Isn't that the same thing as 2 to the negative 1?
Yeah.
And when you have a logarithm, can't they take the number and put it in the front?
Yeah.
So if I put the negative in the front there and the negative in the front there, can't I cancel out the negatives and you get that?
Yeah.
That was pretty simple.
Okay. Got it.
Just leave your answer like this tomorrow and you get full credit. Alright, and then number 3. Oh,
Far out.
you wish you get one this easy tomorrow.
What?
dy dx is equal to 2y, and it says y of 1 is equal to 5. Okay, look.
What's y do?
Okay, first of all, is this the y equal y not e to the kt thing?
No.
Yes!
You have to separate variables. Yeah,
No,
that's it.
yeah, you can separate the variables, but you're just wasting time. This is the y equal y not e to the kt.
Darn it.
Because look, k is 2.
You have to solve for y not.
So, can I just write this? Y equal y not e to the
2.
2x. It's x. Because look,
Yeah.
there's an x there, not a t.
Yes, you can write that.
Yes, okay.
Really? Yeah.
Now, it says y of 1 equals 5. We use that to figure out what y naught is. So, if I plug in 1 for x and 5 for y, you get 5 is equal to y naught e squared. Therefore, y naught equals, there you go. That's your initial amount right there. Whatever this number is. It's here, you want me to impress you? It's going to be a little bit bigger than 2/3. 0.68, 0.69, 0.7 perhaps. I don't know if it gets a 0.6 something in the upper. Okay, I just want to see if I
Yeah, 0.676.
thank you. Okay, and then now that we know what y naught is, y equal this ugly number e to the 2x. Now we can answer any question. What's the question? It says find y of 3. How do you do that? Plug in 3 for x right there, and so you get 5 over e squared times e to the 6. Subtract the exponents. 5e over e to the 4. Boom!
What? What?
Except that's not it. It's 5 e to the 4. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. Well, see, you were paying attention.
Wait, can you do the one where you multiply though? Like the, I mean the separated variable.
Yeah, that's the next problem.
Oh, but how do you do it on this one? Because I did it and it didn't.
No, but okay, if you, what time is it? If you want to do it, okay, you put dy over y equals 2 dx, right?
Oh,
separate
I
the
put dy over 2y equals.
Oh, no, you can't, because the constant doesn't
Okay.
matter. Okay, you integrate both sides, so you're going to get
Okay.
natural log absolute value of y equals 2x plus c, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't need to put absolute value because it's a population.
Yeah.
Population cannot be negative. Okay, and then do they give you information to figure out what c is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you plug in 1 for x and 5, so you get natural log 5
Yeah.
is equal to, what are we plugging in for? 2 plus c. So c is equal to natural log 5 minus 2, correct?
Yeah, that's like
Okay, so now you gotta solve, so you e both sides, so you got, what happens when you e both sides? Y equal e to the 2x plus natural log 5 minus 2. That's it, that's it. And of course, I trained you guys to simplify that to 5 e to the 2x minus 2. Remember?
yeah.
Where did that 5 come from? Here, I'll show you.
Okay.
Isn't this the same thing as 2x minus 2 times e to the natural log 5?
Okay.
Because when you multiply, you add the exponents. The reason why we do this is because e to the natural log 5 is 5. That's where that 5 comes from. You have to be able to do that on the AP exam. That's always one of the steps. Always. Okay, last problem. Woo, almost done. Number 4. The rate at which a population grows is proportional to the square root of the population. Okay, how do I write a mathematical equation for that? The rate at which a population grows,
dy over dt.
dy over dt, is proportional
Okay.
to the square root of the population. What? No, no, no. Y. Population is y. T is time. A population is y. Can you guys write that on your papers tomorrow?
Nope.
Then you just minus 8 it. Okay. Hey, Mr. Park, is this the y equal y naught into the kty?
Yeah.
No! No! If it didn't have the square root, then it would be. But it has a square root, so it's not. So what do? How do we solve this?
dy over.
So you gotta separate the variables, put all the y's on the left and everything else on the right. Then what? You integrate both sides, and what do you got? This is like y to the negative half. Make the power one bigger, put the reciprocal in the front. What's the integral of this side? K is a constant. You control the k on the outside. What's the integral of 1 dt? T. No, t. And then you got the 2 plus c's, you mush them together into 1 plus c. Now, Mr. Park, how come they gave us 2 initial conditions? Oh, how come? That's because you have 2 letters you gotta figure out. You gotta figure out k and c. Okay, let's do this. If I plug in 0 for t, y is 4. Okay, let's see if we can, oh, my back is killing me. Plug in 4 right here.
2.
Times 2. And then we're plugging in 0 for t, so duh, c is 4, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now we know c is 4. Now let's plug in this one. If I plug in 1 for t, y is 25. You see how the numbers I picked are good?
Yeah.
Because what's 25 to the half?
5.
5 times 2. So you're going to get 10 is equal to kt plus 4. Except what do we have to plug in for t? 1. Hey, so k equals 6. Okay, so this is what I got so far. Oh gosh, you're going to bend down. I hate that. 2 to y to the half. Ow, now it's really hurting.
For you.
6t plus 4. Box that, that's the answer.
No.
No, you have to solve for y. So how do I get rid of this 2 here?
Divide.
Divide both sides by 2. And then how do I get rid of this 1/2 power? You square both sides. So final answer, survey says, y equal 3t plus 2 quantity squared. Boom! Can we repeat this tomorrow?
Hopefully.
Anyway, if you need more practice, there's a second worksheet. But you don't need to. You did it in the book homework. Ow! Maybe I should stand with better posture.